So, I've had to cut swimming short today. Normally, when I'm doing swimming, when I go there in St. Peter's, I use one of those long noodle floaters, and then I tend to do like 30 lengths, like go back and forth. It's like 25 meters, but I go back and forth, and I do it that way. But they said today that so I don't get asked to use the floaters, they're gonna have to like test me without the floater, do the 25 meters. And I told them, I mean, that's the whole point I use a floater, is because I can swim, but because of my heart condition, I tend to just end up sinking. But they said, you know, you'll have to give it a go. So I was like, all right then. I was swimming away, did the 25 meters. Then when I went past the halfway mark, my memory went. And then I woke up and I'm walking up the stairs or something like that, and I'm surrounded by a lot of the lifeguards, and I just go to them, "You guys alright? What's happening?" Apparently I swam the full 25 meters like without a floater. I swam it full, but the lifeguard was talking to me, like when he went past the halfway point, he started talking to me saying, are you alright, and my eyes was like glazed. It was just like, but I just carried on swimming. And then I got to the end. Finally he said, oh, you did really good, you seem to be really out of breath. And I just went, yeah. They're like, are you okay? Apparently I had a seizure inside the water after I did the full length. And then they sort of tried to get me out, but I got out myself. And as soon as I got out of the water, then I snapped out of it, I sat down. That's when I was like, you guys alright? What's happening? All three of them were just staring at me. I passed. So now I can go swimming without them questioning my disability and saying, you can't swim the full length without a floater, because they were like, we can't allow someone to swim the full length with a floater if they can't swim in general. Even though I kept saying I can swim in general, I just struggle floating because I tend to overexert myself. But yeah, so they made me sign a form just to say I've got a heart condition and if I die, it's not my fault. Bless the lifeguard, the lifeguard Rogan. He's like 20 something, he's a really young dude, and he was terrified. He's like, are you okay mate, are you right? And I was like, it's all good dude, I've died before. So yeah, that is the story of the day. I'm just a little bit tired. I'm gonna walk home. I might pop into Burnley General just for them to test me out and to see like what's up, but generally they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you're over yourself. And I was like, well, I didn't want to, but they asked me, I had to, or else I can't swim full length anymore. So I didn't go to get checked out in Burnley General that night because it was a Friday night. I knew realistically by the time I would get seen when I got checked out would have been around like 8 p.m. or maybe around 2 a.m. because previously when I've experienced arrhythmias before or some kind of heart issue and I've got checked out on a Friday night, because of the fact that they're understaffed and it's a Friday night and people are drinking, get checked out super late. So what I ended up doing was just like, I was like, oh yeah, I'll give it a miss hanging out with the lads tonight and I'll just sleep it off, which isn't the best kind of advice, but oh well. It's quite funny, it's quite weird. It's like you tend to get quite introspective about a lot of things. I know when I was in the actual swimming pool and I was actually, when I was coming up the stairs, it felt like I was walking up the stairs in my old house, my childhood home, the one that I grew up in, and I could smell toast, the smell of toast, because our house was right near Asda, and Asda bakery, they would bake fresh bread early in the morning. So that was the memory that I could smell that would come up to me. I'd like to think I'm quite active and quite fit, and you know, I like to go swimming because it's quite therapeutic. I didn't really like the fact that in St. Peter's it's like, because I haven't got a visible disability, it almost was like I was discriminated against swimming in the adult solo lane, whereas I've seen people with actual visible disabilities and they've swum there before. Yeah, so all in all, you know, the moral of the story is, don't let your ego and pride and stubbornness get in the way of your health and safety. You wee little bellend.